I love that. There's trust with her husband. She benefits him. There's no surprises. They are truly one. She does him good and not evil all the days of her life. She is consistent. There's not a roller coaster relationship. She seeks wool and flax and willingly works with her hands. She's diligent. She's intelligent. She's industrious. She's enterprising. She has her own business. She's a manager. Doesn't sound like the picture I hear people talk about God's view of women. She does him good and not evil all the days of her life. She seeks wool, flax. Look at verse 14. She is like the merchant ships. She brings her food from afar. You know what I believe? She is frugal. She knows where to get a deal. She knows where the best deals are. What does a merchant ship do? If you got to go to India to get spices, that's where the merchant ship goes. This is an incredible compliment, incredible affirmation. She also rises while it is yet night, provides food for her household, portion for her maidservants. Now we learn something new in verse 15. She takes care of her home. She has a heart for her husband. She has a heart for her household, verse 15. But you know what? She has a love and a compassion beyond her household because she makes a portion for those who work for her. She cares about others. She cares about others. All of her enterprises are for the good of her family and for those around her. She considers a field and buys it, and from her profit she plants a vineyard. She girds herself with strength and strengthens her arms. Now, I don't know, it sounds a little bit like Song of Solomon, Tell me about your wife. She's got strong arms. I mean, nobody says that. But what they're saying is it's not that she has nice biceps. That's not the point. But that she's very feminine. She's very intelligent. She's strong. She's everything. She's everything she needs to be. She gives what she has to her family. I think there's a lot of ladies today that feel guilty about working, and maybe God wants you home, but maybe God wants you to just realize if your family is the ultimate priority, if your family's your first priority, you can work. She worked. But I think that's something you have to decide. There's a lot of guilt there. Why is there guilt? I can't answer those things for you, but this is a standard not from last week, but from thousands of years ago. She puts her household first, but she's able to balance a business on the side. I think she's remarkable. Look at verse 18. She perceives that her merchandise is good, and her lamp does not go out by night. She's not idle. She's organized. She's disciplined. She stretches out her hands to the distaff, and her hand holds the spindle. She extends her hand to the poor. Now this is a third audience. She loves her family. She loves those who are working for her. And now she extends her hand to the needy. Yes, she reaches her hands to the needy, the poor and the needy. She's not afraid of snow for her household, for all her household is clothed with scarlet. Now stop for a second. Back then, you couldn't go to Dillard's and get a North Face jacket if it snowed. You guys are still blaming me for the snow we had last winter. And if you don't stop doing that, I'm going to start blaming you for the rain this spring. Okay? We'll make a little deal there. But you know what? Back in that day, and this 150 years ago, it had been the same. 100 years ago. If you got cold, you couldn't run down to Walmart to get socks. You couldn't run down to Walmart to get boots. You understand the difficulty it was to take care of your household then? You had to predict what was going to happen, and when it happened, you had to be ready for it. Miss Lillian, you understand? Incredible. She's not afraid of the snow. Honey, it's snowing. It's okay. It's all right. I got it under control here. Don't worry. It's Tennessee. It's snowing. It's okay. We're good here. Verse 22. She makes tapestry for herself, and her clothing is fine linen and purple. I don't think it really speaks of wealth. I think it just speaks of her ability to take care of herself, not just others. Look at verse 23. Her husband is known in the gates. When he sits among the elders of the land, her husband is known at the gates. Well, I love that. He's the husband of a special lady. You know, they gathered at the gates. It was their town square. She's not known as the wife of him. He's known as the husband of her. And you see that guy over there? He's got a great wife. See that guy there? Man, he's married to a great mother. That's what they're talking about, the square. And men get credit, and sometimes we shake our head and we'll say, how did he get her? Right? We're not allowed to say that too loud. They might say, how did he get her? And we give him credit even though we scratch our head and say, how in the world? Small town, what happened? You know, what happened here? How did he? It's wonderful. She's a topic of conversation. Her husband is known in the gates because of her integrity and reputation. When he sits among the elders of the land, she makes linen garments and sells them.